Good morning. This is Daniel Lee, the Good Mood Coach. I want to tell you something that I learned about this morning that I hope will be helpful for you. I was reading in the book The Garden of Emunah by Rabbi Shalom Shlita, may be strengthened on his mission, the following idea that we all need to return to our path and return to God and really get close to what we're meant to do here. However, the first mistake he said that many of us make is as follows: that we don't realize that we were created with the Yetzer Hara. We don't realize that we have negative inclinations. We have draws and passions and desires and all sorts of cravings in us, and anger, many characteristics that are negative, that are by design, that God designed them in us. And that is exactly the starting point. That's where we are. He said we need to recognize our place. We need to, like, hakir et atzmo et makom shel atzmi, right? Like, I have to recognize my place. Like, where am I starting on this map he was describing? If I don't realize where I'm starting on the map, I will never be able to get where I need to go, because I'll be thinking I'm starting in Nebraska and I'm actually starting in New York. Okay, so that's a very important idea, because a lot of us, he said, get trapped that the Yetzer Hara, what he likes to do is actually to make us feel really guilty, really ashamed, like, oh, like, what's wrong with me? Look at me. I have this craving to look at this stuff on the internet. I blow up and I mistreat this person. I'm lazy. All sorts of different ways in which we feel deficient, not good, like something's seriously wrong with us. Now, in a certain sense, something is seriously wrong with us, but it's not something to be ashamed of or guilty, he's pointing out, which is very a fresh concept for me. I hope it is for you too. Helpful. We're starting there. We don't need to feel bad at all. No, the opposite. So he told a nice story on a different lecture this morning I saw live on YouTube from Sunday. And he said like this, that once there was a school in the center of Israel, and the principal there, it was not a religious school, but the principal was a very, very good man. And he used to go outside and watch the students come into the school every day. He would see most kids would be dropped off with their parents, with their mother and their father. And he saw that there was a girl, and sometimes she was dropped off by nobody, seemingly. She came with a friend or she got there on her own, and sometimes the grandfather. And after a while, he called the grandfather and said, "Can I talk with you in my office?" Grandfather said, "Sure." Came in and said, "Look, can I ask you, you dropped this girl off a lot. Like, what's with her parents? Are they okay? Like, what's going on?" And the grandfather said, "Well, she's actually an orphan. There are no parents, and I am raising her." So, okay, the principal said, "Wow, okay, very nice. Like, well, do you have a parnasa? Like, you're an older man. Like, do you have a income? How do you have money to take care of her and to take care of your household?" And the man said, I'll tell you the truth. You seem like a good man, you principal. So I'm a thief," he said. This apparently is a true story. He said, "I'm a thief." And he goes, "So I have an income. I have parnasa." The principal said, oh, okay. And the thief said, let me explain to you. I never steal from poor people. I feel bad for them. I only steal from wealthy people, and then I have an income. Wow. So he said, I really can't. Like, for example, he said, once I went into a poor person's house and I saw like how disheveled, how everything was so difficult. I said, I can't steal from these people. And the money that he had so far, he left there, and he left even his own money there. He said they should be able to take care of themselves. So the principal looks at him and says, "Wow, you are a very, very holy man. You're a tzaddik. You're righteous." And the man's like, well, "I don't know." So, okay, so the meeting was over, and that's it. I don't know, some days, weeks later, the grandfather comes back to the principal and says, "Look, I have a problem. I don't have parnasa anymore. Ever since you called me a tzaddik, you called me a righteous, special person, I can't steal anymore. I'm just not able to." I said, "If I'm a righteous person, if I'm a tzaddik, I can't do this. I can't do this. It's not befitting. It's below me to do this. It's not right. It's not right if I'm a good person." And from then on, he couldn't steal. They don't say in the rest of the story how he got his money from then on, but what a nice story Rabbi Arush says, because the very fact that he was thought of and communicated with by an educator in a certain way, with that being seen in that light for what he really is underneath. That layer of negative inclination to steal is a natural, obviously, disposition to steal and a skill. Look at that, a disposition and a skill, which is common in many of us. Many of us have the disposition to be angry, and we're good at being angry. we're good at pleasure, and we have the skill to enjoy pleasure, right? The ability. So they go together, and God endowed us with those things. So it's nothing to feel bad about, and let's work on ourselves to not feel bad about having these negative characteristics. And when we can look at ourselves in the right light and realize that, okay, we were given these characteristics as part of the setup. This is the setup. It's not an accident. And in fact, they're not just in the way, they are the way. They're part of the reason that we're here. We're here to overcome our anger. We're here to overcome our desires. We're here to overcome certain lack of boundaries or other things that we have, and to fix ourselves, called a tikkun, right? And to do our purpose, our yiyud, to build things and to do things. So really, we have to look in our practice, in the coaching and the counseling. We come up with this metaphor, which comes from Jewish sources, I believe, also, that we all have an animal self, like a horse that we're riding. Some horses are angry. Some horses like to eat too much grass. Some horses like to play more than they should and, bother other people, or, have too many horse girlfriends or whatever it is. But that we're riding this horse, and we are not the horse, but we are on the horse. And we need to train the horse and look at the horse and talk to the horse right. And just like that beautiful story that Rabbi Arish told, we need to look at that horse and say, wow, horse, you have some really great things in you. This is great. And you are a horse of a king. You're a horse of a special horse. And the horse will say, I don't want to be the angry type of horse. That's not for me. And anyways, we need to learn to apply these concepts in our lives and to internalize them. As it says, that we should restore into our hearts. We have to get the thought and the insight of our minds down into our hearts. And that will transform our practices, our behaviors, our character traits, help us be better people in the world and do what we came here for. I hope these ideas were helpful. If there's any other questions or ideas you would like us to share about, please let us know at our YouTube channel, or we have a website, immunotherapy.com or integrativecounselingcenter.com, and subscribe, share this with your friends, and have yourself a beautiful, beautiful day, and spread the light.